Welcome, everyone. I have Jeff Hanson on the line, and he's the CEO of Sea Shepherds Australia, and he's also on the global board of the directors of Sea Shepherd. Welcome to TeenBuzz Radio, Jeff.
Thanks, Caroline. It's a real pleasure being here.
Wow, great. Please tell us about the work of Sea Shepherd and let us know what you're doing.
Yeah, well, Sea Shepherd's been going since 1977. We identify the key threats to the oceans as illegal fishing, plastics, climate, and threats to vulnerable and endangered species. And so when we look at that in a nutshell, I guess we've been most well known for our work tackling illegal whaling in the Southern Ocean, which we've been very successful in stopping. But, over the years, we've looked at, what are the key threats and are we actually addressing them and are we making an impact? And in each of those key areas, we are delivering, in spades. I'm go into a lot more detail, but we've definitely punched above our weight as an organisation. We're lean, we're effective, we're on the front line, and mostly a volunteer-driven based organisation.
Wow. Could you give us an example of a situation you've encountered whaling in, for example?
Yeah, so I've been on the two Antarctic wild defence campaigns back in 2007 and 2008. And on one situation there, I was down in the Southern Ocean, and I know I'd studied our ice charts and look at the weather patterns, and we had found the whaling fleet a couple of weeks prior, but they took off and we couldn't pursue them because of the weather. Mm-hmm. And then we got a tip off on where they were a number of hours beforehand. And so we were sort of blindly going to a position where they were the day before. And I looked at the charts and everything, and I really strongly felt in my being I was going to be sick unless I got it off my chest that this is where I think the whaling fleet is. This is why I believe that they are here. And I called in the first mate and the captain and explained our position. And then Paul Watson said, okay, we changed course. And we then had three targets on the radar. Effectively, they were the harpoon kill ships, which go about 23 knots. They go much faster than our ship, the Steve Irwin, that we're on. And they were essentially acting as decoys, trying to take us away from our position, hiding in the fog. And then I was asked to plot a position to find the factory ship, which is the much bigger ship, the one with the hole in the back that brings up the whales after they're being harpooned and cuts them up for the market in Tokyo. And so I plotted a position for that, and we continued on our chase. And about 8 hours later, we were able to realise the structure of the floating slaughterhouse, the Nishimaru. And at that point, whaling was ended, and we saved over 500 whales. So,
wow.
That was my baptism of fire. It was my first time out to sea. It was straight down to Antarctica. And then I went into Paul's cabin and said, look, this is how I think we could grow Sea Shepherd in Australia. And he said, oh, do you want to be the Australian director? And I haven't looked back since. Campaigns in Antarctica and been to the Galapagos and doing work to stop big coal mines in our coast, stop the big gas hub from going through the world's biggest humpback whale nursery off the West Australian coast. We do huge amounts with removing plastic trash from around Australia's coast and remote cleanups as well. Mm-hmm. And then our work in the Great Australian Bight, where, we've been successful in knocking out all big oil in the Bight. BP, Chevron, Equinor, they've all ceased their plans to drill for oil in the Bight. And this is one of the world's most grand, unique wilderness areas. You're talking blue whales, humpbacks, minkies, southern right whale nurseries, seals, dolphins, penguins. The place is alive. So, there's been a incredible journey and definitely some good wins.
Great. Thank you so much. So we'll take a short break now. We'll listen to a song and we'll be right back. Hello, everyone. I'm back with Jeff Hanson from Sea Shepherds, and we want to know what we can all strive for with this battle and how can we support Sea Shepherds?
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal is that Sea Shepherd doesn't need to exist. That's the ultimate goal. That we don't have this term being a greenie or a conservationist. It's just how you live on the planet. To me, being a greenie or a conservationist is to want clean air, clean water, healthy food, a livable climate. Surely that's what we all want. So you're either making the planet worse for our kids or you're making it better. And it's simple in that regard. And so I think the way that we do that is to, this whole fight is just insane, that we have to fight for these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we need to educate people on the importance of the natural world, and the state of our natural world is in. Paul Watson got criticized years ago because he said, worms are more important than people, and everyone got so upset. How can you say something so outrageous? And he said it because it's true. Ecologically speaking, worms are more important than people. Worms can live on the planet.
Could you explain how?
Worms can live on the planet fine without us, but we can't live on the planet without them. And then he talks about the spaceship Earth analogy. We're on a spaceship hurtling through space, and like any spaceship, there's the passengers and the crew. The crew run this ship. The insects, the worms, the turtles, the sharks, the plankton, the forests, they regulate our climate. They take care of our waste. They provide us with the food we eat and the air that we breathe. Who are we? We're just the passengers on spaceship Earth. Problem is, we're killing off the crew. So we've got to protect the crew because they maintain the life support systems of our planet. So they are more important than us. So if we understood that, from a love of nature, but also the importance that it is our life support, and hopefully governments will make decisions with that in mind, and businesses will make decisions with that in mind, and we'll go about each day thinking about the importance of the natural world, what we spray on our gardens, what we eat, what we don't eat, all these things, That's the only way forward.
Great. Wow. Thank you so much for this really interesting talk. How can listeners who are interested in finding out more, how can they find more information?
Yeah, just come to our website, seashepherd.org.au in Australia, or globally, seashepherdglobal.org. Volunteer, get involved. If you're under 18, then you can get involved at a local outreach group and, do education talks and raise funds and awareness to help keep our ships at sea. Or if you're over 18 and looking for that experience, volunteer to come out to sea and be on one of our campaigns.
It's really cool. So everyone, if you want to find out more, go to www.seashepherds.org and find out more. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
Thanks, Caroline. It was great talking with you.